think in general, ESOP and ETOP, you need to figure out how much to give people, right? That's a common question. And the common misconception is to look at it in terms of percentage of ownership, and then try to compare, you know, what is industry standard. I think that is more of the end result than how you should really kind of do this. So I think about it in a top-down and a bottom-up perspective. Ultimately, how much you give someone is based on the value of money that you would like to compensate someone. So you start with that idea. Top-down means I take all my available shares in the pool and I divide it by all the possible employees that could get it, present and future. And you get sort of a ballpark after that. You basically say, look, if I had 100 shares and I had 10 people, then everyone gets 10 shares, right? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Probably not. It's going to be more of like a pyramid where seniors get more, senior executives get more, middle management gets a little less, and then juniors get the least, right? And then the bottoms up is where I help a lot of companies and founders kind of figure out how much to give someone. So the way I think about it is, if you're giving other assets like cash, and let's say you are a startup and you're trying to figure out how much equity to give somebody, that's really just your shortfall in terms of the cash you're not meeting, right? So I think about like some market value of this person, and I sometimes use, you know, a big bank like HSBC. Like, what is the standard of a big corporation that would pay someone 100% cash? And then because we don't live in that unlimited resources type scenario for most startups, then let's say you can only pay them 70% of that. Then that 30% you would provide in equity. Mm-hmm. And that's the same idea with tokens. Now, tokens is a little tricky because they are decentralized and they're actively trading. So in some big exchanges for employee compensation, they try to take an average, like a previous 12-month average. And this is really interesting. So they take a previous 12-month average and then they give you sort of this average price. Maybe it's weighted, unweighted, but they'll give you that average price. And so let's say there is some component of cash and then the shortfall will then be divided by the average price per token. Okay. And then that is the amount of tokens you get on vesting every month. Yeah. If you have zero cash, then it's basically divided by, you know, your market value. Okay. Yeah. That's the big one where people say how much. The other one is people ask like, you know, how long should it vest? It really depends on, you know, where you are in your stages. Like I said, best practice is 3 to 4 years. Mm-hmm. And then should we have a cliff? I think cliffs are more common with equity. Yeah. But tokens, if you're exclusively paying in tokens, you have to give it right away.